They would have had, yeah, I think they would have been different, but it just depends on what people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Everything would have been this.
I can tell you, OKC looks tough, but San Antonio looks tough. I was surprised San Antonio, but they mixed it up. They still got, everybody thought they was old, but they brought in young players too, so they mixed that up.
Yeah, they put their work. Appreciate it.
I think so. I think this might be this year again.
So we just gonna clear OKC out after the picture night.
No, but
I ain't grilling.
Boston has a chance to beat Philly tonight. Why they in Boston? Why they being in Boston too? Yeah.
They're gonna pop. They're gonna match. Hey brothers, this is the owner of the restaurant.
Give us a shout out, Pop.
They all been good? They visited from Arkansas.
From Arkansas? Wow, welcome to Jollof.
You been to Arkansas yet?
Not yet. You want us to take Jollof there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a picture.
Jumped off the Kobe.
Brothers, this is the first time y'all eating West African food?
Yes. Yes, sir.
On the fish, there's something called Tibu John. Number 2 is the National Dish of Senegal. That's excellent.
Senegal. Sound familiar? I heard Senegal before.
We about to
We just talked about
Well, we went to Bronx Community College.
That was where y'all are today.
Yeah, and there was some professors from Senegal.
Do y'all eat okra at all?
Yeah, I'm
Okra is phenomenal. It's great. Yeah.
They fried.
I'm not sure they fry. So, also, if y'all drink iced tea, the iced tea is great. I assume y'all drink iced tea. Oh, yeah. From the dirty. I grew up with iced tea.
What motivated you to do what you're doing now, as far as?
Wow.
Yeah.
My mother raised me. My mama got an 8th grade education, right? And all she talked about when I was growing up is how she had to pick cotton growing up in South Carolina. Like I said, my family's all from the South too. I'm a first generation born up in the North. And so when you raised in that kind of environment, you know, where you're being pushed to work hard I mean, think about it for a second. My mom ain't never read a book in her life, ain't never been set foot on college campus, so she dropped me off just one time. That's the only time she ever went. And but somewhere in her head, she knew that education could help me as a young black male. You feel what I'm saying? So she just pushed me hard. Now I ain't gonna lie, I got into a lot of trouble growing up. I went to 4 grammar schools, 3 high schools. I fought a lot. I had a bad temper. By the time I was 14, 15, I was getting in trouble with the police. But I can't say I always had good grades. My mom was tolerating bad grades, so I knew I was going to college no matter what. You know, I just didn't know how I was going to get there because we didn't have any money. And thank God for a financial aid package. You know what I'm saying? That made that possible. But you know, I give it to my moms, man. And then from there, you know, I just met a lot of incredible people. You know. And books, man, books. I say to brothers all the time, we gotta read. We gotta read. You know, I love sports. I got my ESPN right on this phone. Like I was telling Brother Montgomery, you know, I can't wait to watch the Heat Pacers game in a bit. But I balance that out with I got tons of news applications on here. I got books on here, you know. I never traveled anywhere without, since I was a teenager, I'm always carrying a notepad writing stuff down. I'm a writer, so I'm always serious. This has been since I was a kid. And so, you know, what motivates me, I love knowledge.
Right.
You know, you gotta know what's going on in the world, you know. Like where we are right now is an African restaurant, a Senegalese restaurant. I'll be lying to y'all if I said when I was 17, 18, I knew anything about Senegal or Africa. I knew nothing, you know what I mean? Because the schools, unfortunately, that a lot of us grew up in, they don't teach us anything about black people, about black history. Nothing, you know what I mean? I know who Malcolm X was. I just thought Dr. King had a dream, and that was it, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think I learned about Jackie Robinson. That was it, you know? But once I started reading art history, my mind was blown. You think we should ask them to turn the music down a little bit?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, let's ask them to take it up. Yeah, I'm going to ask them to turn the music down a little bit. The only expectation that we got is depth. I mean, think about that for a second. Now look at all the greatness that black men come from. What was we just talking about before with LeBron and OKC? We were talking about basketball, right? A black man didn't even create the sport of basketball, but when you watch basketball, you know what I see? I see an African ballet. The stuff that we can do with a basketball when we go above the rim, who can do that like us? Who? We do it so well. And I'm old enough. I don't know how old y'all are, but like 20 years ago, we had someone, the group Fab Five, Chris Webber, the University of Michigan. When they came out with the bald heads and the black sneakers and the black socks and the long shorts, they had cats all over the world wanting to be like them. You feel what I'm saying? You see how powerful you are? These boys came from Detroit, Michigan.
Another example, it's just like NWA came out with the Raiders.
Exactly.
They set a trend for all across the world.
Y'all created, when y'all was in the Bronx today, y'all was in the birthplace of hip hop. Y'all know that. That's where hip hop came from. And it was young, black, and Latino men who created hip hop not 10 years ago, not 20 years ago. This goes back to the late 1960s when a man named Clive Campbell, aka Kool Herc, came from the West. Now that little thing that we started, think about it. What's hip hop? 2 turntables and some records. A microphone. When I used to be a b-boy back in the day, so we had to dance on cardboard or some linoleum. And then I also used to tag, graffiti, magic marker, spray paint. From those humble beginnings, it's the dominant youth culture on the planet. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And what's the face of hip-hop? Y'all. Black men. Y'all, when y'all came to Brooklyn, you just a little bit away from where the New Jersey Nets about to become the Brooklyn Nets. And look at how Jay-Z, who came from the projects down the street, Marcy Project, is now a part owner of the Brooklyn Nets. That's hip-hop. That's the power of black men. I don't have to agree with all the lyrics or anything he says, but I'm saying hip-hop is making something out of nothing, is winning on your own terms. And that's us. So when we talk, say that again?
Brooklyn Nets.
It's about to be a Brooklyn Nets.
It's about to be the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. But I'm saying, you know, you can't, I mean, man, I grew up on welfare, food stamps. Like I said, single mother, ain't seen my father since I was 8 years old. If I'd have listened to all the naysayers, man, I'd have like, ain't no hope. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Since you just covered hip hop, when I was a little younger, my pops put me on Goody Mob.
I love Goody Mob.
Like CeeLo Green.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about where the hip hop culture has gone, where we don't have the artists like they're not as popular like CeeLo Green to spit that knowledge that he was giving you.
That was a great CD.
Like people like Lil Wayne, like the guys that are popular now, they don't give you that knowledge that they used to give like with the guys like CeeLo Green and stuff like that. What do you think about that? And I know you.
Well, I mean, let me give you a little background. I grew up in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was a b-boy. I used to be a graffiti writer. My nickname is Keepo. That came from my name I used to tag on walls back in the day. K-E-P-O. This is Kevin Powell. You know what I mean? But we would shorten our names, we make up names. Let me tag that on the walls. And then y'all know Vibe magazine. I was one of the cats who helped to create Vibe magazine. You know, I did most of the interviews with Tupac when he was alive. In fact, I was there in Vegas when he died on September 13, 1996. And so hip hop is in my bones. But we got to make a distinction. There's hip hop culture, then there's hip hop the industry. Now, there's 5 core elements of hip hop culture. Does anyone know what the 5 elements of hip hop culture is?